Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. I am Goddess Victoria. Welcome back to Trigger to Transform. This is day 36, and we are in this space to discover what is up with our transformation. I have been on this journey for a very long time, and I am more than excited to have you join me in really looking at what it is that you want to change about yourself. What are you wanting to evolve about yourself? It may be something small, it may be something large, but whatever it is, you have come to the right place. Please remember to like, subscribe, share, and tell your friends about this space. And then you comment down below. If you have any questions, if something isn't clear, this is a space to ask. If you are not working in your transformation, y'all, excuse me, I am getting over a cold. If you are not working in your transformation, think about it. Consider it. And if you know someone who is, share this information with them so that they may have a support and guide along their journey. Today, let me just begin by saying that this has been the most I want to say pressing, that's what's coming up, but it's this thing that keeps pushing me, right? If you have thought about starting your own YouTube channel, please by all means do. Do it for 7 days, do it for 10 days, do the consistency. Like you may set a goal that you're going to do it for 7 days, and at the end of that 7 days, you might still come and do it for another 7 days and keep going that way. Because what it's doing for me is requiring me to show up. It's not like a job. It's not like going to school, right? I got to clock in there. My schedule's kind of already made up, as best as I could, depending on, and there's a expectation. There's an expectation in those spaces for you to show up and be who you say you are, according to the people that hired you or the program that you're in for school, right? This is a lot different. You have to require yourself to do this. You have to set up a schedule. You have and it's just like being in business, but a little bit different for me in that it's being built out, right? And so I feel like every day I get to practice a little bit more and that I get to put my energy and love into a space that is solely produced by me, by what it is that I'm up to. And I get to see where I come short. I get to see where I give myself grace when I should push a little bit more within myself to do the things that I say that I'm going to do, right? To stay in a space. It also gives me a space to look to see where am I not taking very good care of myself? And what can I do so that I do feel better about the things that I'm up to? What do I do so that I feel more healthy within myself, mentally, physically, emotionally, right? So this space supports me in those things. And if it's something that you have thought about, please, by all means, do it. Do it, do it, do it. It is very rewarding in a way that you get to see the increments to multiply of what you're doing all the time. And you may have that experience in your workplace or at school, but this is a different space. It really is. Okay. Well, that's just my little spill on YouTube. I am not a YouTube coach or anything like that. I'm just sharing my own personal experience with you all. So welcome to this experience, this journey. I decided to do this for 90 days to talk about Trigger to Transform, to give little snippets of information, right? This week we're in week 6. Oh my God, we're in week 6. And we're talking about liberated communication. Yesterday's learning lab was about shrinking language. Where am I just not standing up and being my full self? Where am I not using my voice in a way that shows my dynamic personality and who I really am? And then what does my shrinking look like? And why am I doing that? Why am I choosing, ooh, these are dirty. Why am I choosing to play it small? Why are you choosing to play small? That's something to look at. And do you realize that you're playing small? Right? A lot of playing small has to do with our compliance, right? We're in certain spaces. I mentioned school, I mentioned work. And in those places, excuse me, y'all, I'm really sorry. You see, I'm still in bed today. I'm coming down with this cough. Ooh. A lot of times, what we're experiencing in our shrinking is compliance. We're in certain spaces. It feels like we have to minimize ourselves because we don't want to say too much. We don't want to tick off anybody. We don't want to seem like we are know-it-all. We may not want to come across as being controlling or any of those things that we are making up in our head about ourselves and how we are, right? So the start of this to transform it, right? That compliance mechanism. How am I going along to get along, the get along gang? How am I practicing in that to maneuver out of it when you recognize it, right? Is to really find out who you are. What am I here to do? What is my purpose? Right? Because if we're walking in purpose, I'm not really worried about complying with anything because I'm on my own mission, right? So when we work into these compliance scripts, we might hear ourselves saying things like, oh, was that what everyone else wanted to do? We may not give our recommendations or suggestions willingly, right? We may hold back on information because it's just depending on what everybody else is going to do. We make decisions that we might not necessarily agree with just to be a part of the crowd. A lot of thoughts just went through my brain when I said that. A part of the crowd. When you're out of that compliance scripting, the compliance role, you really learn that even if no one agrees with me, I've got to be true to what it is that I believe, to what it is that I know to be true within myself. And not that my truth outweighs anyone else's, but I get to be loyal to that and open to new perspectives, right? In learning to navigate out of compliance scripts, one of my favorite things to say was, or is still, um, that's not how I've experienced that. I'm no longer in compliance with the way that anyone else, everyone else sees the situation, especially when it comes to people. Oh, she's this and she's that, and that's just me. That's just not my experience of that person. I'm no longer in compliance with how you feel about them. I'm free to feel how I feel about any situation. Moving out of compliance, right? There's a meeting going on at work and everyone's in an uproar and no one wants to calm down, and you find yourself getting involved in that conversation, that same level of energy that everyone else is exhibiting. That is also a compliance, because I don't feel that way. I'm not holding this in the same way that everyone else is holding it. And I'm not going to agree with you just to get along with you. I have my own mind. I have my own standards. I have my own expectations, right? Moving out of the compliance script era, it's really about self-care. Really about self-care. Even when it comes to things that's going on in your children's school. You may not completely agree with that. I'm not going to comply because this is the way, and this thing right here cannot be, setting boundaries. How deep does our compliance go? What are we willing to comply with that speaks against everything that we are. As a melanated woman, there's a lot that I don't comply with. I am not participating. I am not participating in this thing because it does no good over here. I am no longer participating in this thing because it keeps leading me further away from what it is that I actually see occurring. Now I'm going to tell y'all a little secret. It won't be a secret after I put it out here. I didn't participate in the last election. I drew a line. I was no longer going along to get along. I wasn't voting for this one because of this, and I'm not damn sure I wasn't voting for this one because of that. Neither of those two things, neither of those platforms spoke about things that were important to me and didn't show me anything that made me want to give you my golden ticket. See, that's the other thing. When you understand that you have value, there is value in me giving you whatever it is, my compliance, my agreement, my whatever, right? It's worth something. Do you know your value? Do you know your worth? My vote? Now, I'm not saying that to start no type of riots. I don't care what anybody feels about my decision. I don't. I've said it out loud before. It's not really a secret. A few people know. It's just not something that I talk about all the time because I'm not interested in politics in that way. My interest in politics looks completely different than anything that's going on right now. And there's no one talking about what I think is best for this country. And what I see has been going on throughout the country in relation to these things that you all are talking about is a farce. Right? But that is my agreement within myself. I start participating in things that I do not agree with. I'm not a part of the go along, get along gang. I love my autonomy. I love the way that I'm able to make a decision for myself, my family, and my community based on facts, not emotion. Not emotion. So that's the next part to the compliance scripting. It's an emotional response. The shrinking, the getting along, I don't want to feel the emotions, if you will, in disagreeing with someone. What is the harm in disagreeing? Because they may not like it, because of their response to you? That doesn't take any value out of you being able to disagree. And disagree until the point that the new perspective either serves your greatest mission, your greatest purpose, or to the point where the new perspective deepens your understanding of why you feel that way. And being able to say, this isn't going to work. So a lot of what we see going on right now in our country is a huge dynamic of the go along to get along game. A lot of it. I'm talking from government to religion, parenting, how we operate with the information we receive on social media, the media, right? There's protests going on right now because no one's asked questions. Right? It's a compliance. I'm going to give you a reason to be fearful, and you're going to act in a fearful way. Compliance. Why do you want me to be scared? What do you need me to comply with? And why? What does my compliance have to do with your agenda? I'm just asking questions. You all do what you want. Get curious, right? Before you say, sure, I'll do that. Get curious. Even if it's with yourself, within yourself, you may ask out loud, to the person that's offering you whatever, looking for some sort of agreement from you. But get curious. If you're really looking to, I was getting ready to say analyze, for lack of a better word in the moment, analyze your degree of compliance within your life. How many questions are you asking before you say yes? No is my no is my go-to. No, let me think about it. Because if I can, my no is invaluable. And if I can, my yes is invaluable. And if I can give you my yes without giving it any frame of reference or thought, I may be premature in my decision. I may not really know that that's not what I want to do or that I want to participate in, but it's for me, I can say, no, not right now. Give me a few hours to think about it. Give me a few days to think about it. And then within that time, I can truly decide if that no is a sticking no or if I have decided yes. And I can come back and say, you know what? I decided yes. And I can tell you a list of reasons why I decided yes. But it has nothing to do with what these people are doing. As a leader, I get to see the biggest picture for the whole, right? I get to pull out of my system what is actually appropriate for the whole. In doing so, compliance may not be the measure that makes that an action of purpose. Compliance may not give me the leverage that I need in making decisions, sound decisions for the whole. Be it family, let me back up, be it yourself, you are the whole. Be it family, where that is your nucleus, the community, nationally, internationally. Compliance is where we are losing each other. They say it's the failure to comply, the failure to follow these directions, the failure to be in one accord. You're going to have to give me lots of reasons for me to remain in a space of oppression, because that's what that sounds like to me. Oppression when I'm unable to make a decision based on my own autonomy, based on my own agency, because someone else has decided what was best for me. It's too much. It's too much. It's too much. So tonight, I want you to identify one area where you are a go along to get alonger. Where will I say yes to keep confusion down? Oh, that's my least favorite one. Just to keep confusion down. Okay. Well, I'm not here to keep confusion down. I'm here to cause a disruption of thought, of programming. Because the simple fact is we get to choose. And if someone has already decided for us, then we are giving away our greatest currency to transformative action, which is choice. And if I choose to go along to get along, what is the impact? Who have I made agreements with in this time? In this time. And when I say in this time, I mean in this lifetime. Who have I made agreements with that I didn't necessarily need to make agreements with? Where was I going along to get along? Women, we do this a lot in relationships. And we don't have to. I'm so excited about us really getting our strength back. about us standing in what we know as our divine matriarchal presence. That we don't have to ask for permission. We don't have to go along to get along. We are policymakers. We are the holders of knowledge, wisdom, understanding. And the quicker we navigate back into that space, I got chills. The quicker we navigate back into that space of our ownership of who we are, this planet will be so much better off. Compliance is not the way to go. Now, choice and decision. Choice and decision. When I say compliance, what flooded my brain just then was the young lady in Minnesota that was just by those cube agents. I try to do my best. I don't really talk about these people. I don't like any of that alphabet information. But what came up in my mind was she being compliant? I'm not sure, right? Because I don't really know enough about the story, but that's what came into my mind. Like that level of compliance with those entities, if you will. Now, I heard about what happened, and it seemed like there was a vehicle involved. Someone got hit by the vehicle and in return made the choice to discharge a weapon. And in the choice to discharge a weapon, someone didn't make it. So when we think about compliance from that level, as a woman of color, what is it that I need to do within myself to remain safe? I may not agree with what's going on, but how else can I take action against this thing that I don't like, that I'm unwilling to comply with to keep myself and my family safe? But I'm getting ready to make a change. How can I orchestrate this a little bit differently? Because this may not be the path. While it has nothing to do with your threat to me, that you're going to do something to me if I don't listen to you, that's compliance. Like, I'm going to do something to you, and if I'm going to just do this so nothing bad happens. No. I'm going to move out of this situation so that I'm safe. But this has got to stop. And that's where I am right now with us, right? I'm not here for you to comply with me. I'm not here to oppress your thought. Actually, I am here to empower you to think beyond your emotion, to think beyond the possibilities that if I don't do this, then this isn't going to happen, right? If I don't do this, this can still happen. And I'm going to do it like this because I have this knowledge. I have these tools. I have this insight. I have these connections. I know how to move through these atmospheres and like that. Don't get hung up on trying to be the go along to get alonger. That was hard to say. I keep dropping this light, y'all. I'm doing my best. But to really be intentional about where you place your energy, where you're placing your yes, and what you're saying yes to. Can't say yes to anything. Sometimes that no is what's going to save your life. That no is what's going to keep you safe. Do you have any questions about compliance tonight or today at this moment? Good. If you think of anything, drop a comment down below. Remember to like, subscribe, share. If this information is not for you, then you know who it's for. You know who it's for. Send this over to them and tell them to come join the Learning Lab. That Auntie Goddess is here. Take your shoes off at the door. There's tea on the stove. And have a seat. You're welcome to stay, but transformative action is what I wanted to say, is required. And the prerequisite to being here is making the choice to evolve beyond who you see yourself as right now today. I hope the information was helpful. I hope you found something that would resonate within you, within your experience, and that you can share with someone else when you see them acting in these behaviors that just does not stand in the space of liberation. When someone's communication seems a little off from who you know them to be. When your communication seems a little off from who you know yourself to be. And ways to really draw it back into you so that you are holding yourself powerfully through the decisions and the choices that you're making. I'm Goddess Shatoya, and thank you again for joining us for day 36 of Trigger to Transform. Congratulations on your growth and forever loving your evolution. Goddess blessings, y'all. Be well.